everyone, and welcome. It is week 9 of Feel Good Fridays with Dr. Dre. Because guess what? It's a Feel Good Friday. It's a Feel Good.
Friday.
Wow. So dry. But yes, it's a Feel Good Friday. And I hope you are having a fabulous Friday and keeping a smile on your face. And yes, we do have a special guest this week, the very own Dr. Rashad
Ooh, come
Anderson.
on, somebody.
Welcome to the show of Feel Good Fridays this week. And so give the floor to Dr. Anderson to let you hear about him.
All right, I appreciate the invite. I finally made it to a Feel Good Friday, so I finally made it like I done made it in the world. I feel like I'm talking to Oprah right now. It's amazing.
That's it. We're moving up.
Yeah, we're moving up in the world. Yeah, but thank you for having me. So about me, I am Rashad Anderson. I am 32 years old. I am a
Not the
assistant
age.
professor of teacher education at South Carolina State University. SC State University is the only public historically Black college and university in the state of South Carolina. And in addition to being a professor, I have a few other roles on campus. One of those is serving as the campus director for the Call Me Mr. program. If you've never heard of Call Me Mr., Call Me Mr. is a program started in the year 2000 to promote and place, recruit more African-American males to be in elementary schools in the state of South Carolina. And so we're definitely working hard on that since we've been in action now for about 21 years. And we've produced over 500 fully certified Black males into South Carolina classrooms. So we're doing our thing over here, we're working. So that's a little bit about me. I'm from Georgia, been in South Carolina, in between South Carolina my whole life, kind of lived on the border of Georgia and South Carolina. And so, yeah, I'm glad to be here for a Feel Good Friday. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Did I?
Wait now. Wait now. Okay.
Okay. See, I tried.
That was it right there. That was it right there. Okay, so this episode, we're going to talk about, Dr. Anderson did talk about it, but yes, he also, with all the other accolades and accomplishments, is a published author. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So, book one.
Ooh.
What I'm on, come on, book one of many. I'm gonna read you a snippet and then we're gonna discuss it. But I think this kind of brings us to the conversation. So it says, based on over a year of, let me backtrack. The name of the book is Wassup, with all the Black boys sitting in the principal's office, an examination of detrimental teacher interactions and school practices. So back to where I was. Based on over a year of observation at a rural elementary school in the South, education researcher Dr. Rashad Anderson provides deeply nuanced accounts of powerful, illuminating, and sometimes painful examples of daily schooling experiences of 5 Black male students deemed as unsalvageable. Oh, wait a minute, let me get it right. Unsalvageable. Unsalvageable. There we go. Deemed as unsalvageable and at risk. So I'm gonna give the floor to Dr. Anderson to talk about, like, I'm telling you, I read it. It's definitely it's in the caption, like, definitely a book to check about. But I'll stop talking and let Dr. Anderson talk about the what's up with all the Black boys in the principal's office.
So about this book, if you think about the educational woes of Black students in this country, we've had a number of books written across the years on what we call the achievement gap. Probably about 50 years of research that have been published from Black to white education researchers, teachers, former administrators, parents. Almost everybody has had their say about what exactly is going on in our schools and how to best educate Black males. And one of the things that I realized is I was in a school I had a pretty unique experience where within my first 2 weeks, I would say I saw in real life all of those statistics that we hear about Black males and how they experience school in real life. And so I was looking for a way to change it and be a change agent. What do I do as a first year teacher to do my part here? And so I went back to graduate school and I was asking my advisors to give me just books that could help me on this journey to better address the needs of Black males into the classroom. And I realized that all of the books that I was reading was all written from the perspective of everybody else except for the student. And so that was kind of my urging to write this book, was to get the direct perspectives from Black male students themselves, particularly the ones in elementary school. And why elementary school students are so critically important is because Dr. Kunjufu has this phrase that he calls a fourth grade syndrome, that Black males tend to disengage and have academic issues and behavior issues that really start to explode in the fourth grade. And if we can figure out what is happening in elementary school, we could possibly curb the trajectory of Black males with the huge dropout rate by the time they get into secondary school. So it's really important to figure out what's going on at the elementary level. And so that's exactly what the book is about. What's up with all the Black boys sitting in the principal's office? The words are literally directly from the students themselves. It's written from their perspectives and how they articulate school practices, teacher interactions are detrimental to them. And so it's a unique book written from their perspective. I really enjoyed this whole entire research study that led to the publication of this book. I learned a lot. For me, it transformed me as a teacher. And I really enjoy kind of going around the country and sharing their stories, because I think their stories can be generalized to so many other school settings and students and their situations. And so, yeah, that's a kind of snapshot about what's up with all the Black boys.
What would you say would be your favorite part about the book, or even doing the research to start the writing process? What would you say would have been, I'm pretty sure it was multiple accounts that were enlightening and illuminating, but what would you say will be the single best moment or interview, or as you were writing, thoughts about the book?
I think one of them happened quite a time after the book was finished. One of the students in the book was being recommended for really special education, which I have no idea why, because one of the comments that his teachers would often say is that he blurt out the answers before others. He tends to ruin class for other people. He was getting sent out because he would finish work before all the rest and would tend to get in trouble. And so he really was on the route of being put out of school. And it wasn't really until I had left the public school system, I still kept in touch with him. And this kid went to middle school, a charter middle school, and they have a graduation ceremony. And he graduated as the salutatorian of his class.
Wow.
It's like really kind of hit me that, wow, I played a part in kind of curbing that trajectory just by asking certain questions and getting the parents to ask certain questions, and to look at his situation from not a kid that ruins class for everybody else, but a kid that really wasn't being challenged and tapped into, and looking at his abilities as a gift rather than a detriment. And look at what happens when we look at, kids that don't come from situations or dress like how we expect a salutatorian or a valedictorian would look like, and finding those kids and seeing if we put that same type of effort and energy into them, what could their destiny be? So yeah, that's probably my favorite bright spot about this whole book.
So if someone is watching this, or even someone who purchases the book, what, as an educator, like literally a teacher or educator who is reading this book and is kind of mind blown, regardless of race, what would be your advice to someone reading this book and sees like these nuances within here? Like, oh my gosh, like didn't know all of this happened, even despite race. Like someone who might be a white male teacher, or even a black male teacher, or just whoever. Like, what would be your advice to someone to like break this stigma, break these stereotypes? What would your advice be?
Yeah, so I actually did that towards the end of the book. I put my recommendations, my actions to charge. I like really quick kind of can give you. Like one of the things is if we write down students in our school that we identify as being gifted, high value kids that have a destiny, behavior, and inclination for success. If we write down those kids and we look at how we treat them, the opportunities that we provide them, if we treat those kids, if we can then identify kids to which we feel are unsalvageable, the ones that are at risk, that are destined for failure. If we treat the at-risk kids with the same level and expectation level that we treat with the high-level group, I believe that you will find that you will have some quantifiable change in those students' academic and behavior treatment. It boils down to how we perceive and treat students that we view as other. And then the other recommendation that I have is I kind of did that. So the second book is doing something.
A second book? Wait a minute.
Yes, the second book.
Okay.
Doing something about it. So like the first book tells you about all of the issues, and then the second book, doing something about it, is exactly that. Like, okay, we done heard all of this, so let's put some action into it and let's get to work. So doing something about it is a guide to building a school-based mentoring program. So another just a way for teachers and those that are working in a school that can really put all this data into action and really work at transforming these guys' lives. Really, girls, guys, anybody. Mentoring impacts every child, regardless of gender, race, socioeconomic background.
I'm shook. Amazing. So someone who wants to purchase this book, would you recommend it? We obviously talked about educators, but would you even recommend someone who's a parent and wants to enlighten themselves on how they could better support their Black son? Like, would you recommend the book for them?
Absolutely. So I definitely recommend it because it definitely for parents. It's not just for reforming educators and those that work in schools, but for parents. A lot of times parents were receiving these notes and these referrals from school, and some were really busy working multiple jobs and just really didn't know what was going on. And this book kind of can decipher and help students and parents kind of decode really what is happening to their child, and they don't even understand it. So one of the things I can kind of illuminate is the magic number. The magic number is something that I present in What's Up with All the Black Boys Sitting in the Principal's Office book. Magic number is most districts have a magic number of a minimum amount of referrals that a student has to get in order to be recommended to go to the alternative school. And what I found was this practice in which teachers were writing these completely petty and bogus referrals to try to get certain students to that magic 15 so that they can quickly get them out of the school. One teacher said that they felt like they didn't have the faculty and the personnel there that can actually teach at-risk students. So they felt like alternative school was a better environment for them. So imagine as a parent kind of reading about this, and then you yourself are going through a situation with your child, and you're receiving these bogus referrals, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. So this book, in essence, can truly kind of help teachers understand the backstory, the oftentimes unscrupulous, under the table things that are happening in a school system to push out a child out of school.
I definitely support all of it, and even with schools being virtual now, this is a great way. I mean, obviously we'll be back in person, fully in person soon. So this is a great way to get a jump start on making sure that we, as a society, as well as educators who obviously need to read it, and parents can get a jump start on breaking these stereotypes and these stigmas, and anything that could go wrong. We are already ahead of the game. So I read the book, and I definitely support. So what's up with all the Black boys in the principal's office? And then what was the name of the other book?
Doing Something About It, Guide to Building a
Doing Something About It
program. Yep.
Perfect. So definitely scoop both of those books up. You can check those out at, tell us where we can purchase those at, Dr. Anderson.
Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Perfect. So I'll drop that link in the bio and in the caption, so you'll be able to get that. So I hope you enjoyed this great conversation with Dr. Anderson. And
just follow me on IG, please. Jazz Anderson 174. Also on LinkedIn, Rashad Anderson, PhD.
That's it, Dr. Anderson. That's it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, because guess what? It's the Feel Good Friday. It's the Feel Good. Hit it, Dr. Anderson.
Friday. Is that better?
That's it right there. I'll see y'all next week.
I'd say I tried.